Good evening, Ethan back for a beer review. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing Old English 800 malt liquor in the 42-ounce bottle. Big bottle. Best Buy on the bottle, March 22nd, 21, so really fresh. Old English Brewing Company out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 5.9% ABV. This gets a 50 on Beer Advocate. An awful score. They don't like malt liquors, and they don't like this one. Old English 800 is a brand of malt liquor produced by Miller Brewing Company. It was introduced in 1964 and owned by Miller Brewing Company until 1999, it says. And then I guess Old English 800 Brewing Company bought them. But I've had this before. It's really good. It's a great malt liquor. It's right up there with, Colt 45, Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor. It's always cool to get it in the big bottle. I got this at a package store in Oakwood, Georgia, which is about 30 miles northeast of me. I live about 24 miles, almost exactly 24 miles northeast of Atlanta. And then where I purchased this was another 30 miles northeast of me, up Interstates 85 and 985 at a package store. And I didn't keep the receipt. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was not expensive. It was very inexpensive. It's like $2, $3 at most. This is very cheap. You can get 4 packs of the pint cans for $4.99 at this liquor store and others near me. Like all malt liquors, this malt liquor is very, very affordable. And it's, marketed that way. Go ahead and crack it. A little bit of smoke. Get kind of a skunky aroma, really. And I've gotten that before with it, but let's get a pour. All right. A lot of carbonation, small 2-finger head. Color is light golden. Not light, a little darker than straw perhaps, more of an amber maybe, or a gold perhaps, golden color. Doesn't have, even though it's out of Miller Brewing Company, it doesn't have a big Miller head like a Miller High Life. On Wikipedia it says it has its origins in the late 1940s as Ruff's Old English Stout, brewed by People's Brewing Company of Duluth, Minnesota. Rebranded Old English 600, it was later sold to Bohemian Breweries of Spokane, Washington, and then to Blitz Weinhardt of Portland, Oregon, where it became Old English 800. By the time Blitz Weinhardt was sold to the Pabst Brewing Company in 1979, Old English malt liquor had become their top brand, it says. I'm seeing on here that Old English 800 on the West Coast, there's a 7.5% ABV version. In the European Union, there's a 6.1% version, and in Texas, weirdly, there's a 4.2% ABV version. As of 2010, it says Old English 800 is brewed in several versions, which vary in alcohol by volume. Okay, there you go. So it does, Old English does vary in ABV based on where you are. And like I just read, Texas, West Coast, and Europe, there are different levels of ABV. Interesting. Weird. I didn't know that. In the 1990s, 1992 to be exact, Pabst introduced Old English 800 Draft, a cold filtered instead of pasteurized draft style malt liquor. Old English received the gold medal in the American style specialty lager category in 1997. The 1999 acquisition of Old English 800 by Miller meant its share of the U.S. malt liquor business grew to 36%. It also led to a less controversial marketing strategy for the brand, one that by 2000 included the sponsorship of a series of minority business seminars. Okay, so there's some little facts about it, random. Old English 800. All right, let's get right into it. Head dissipated quickly. Get an aroma. A little bit of malt. Bready, biscuity. A kind of a sweet aroma. It's a clean aroma, but you are getting some like heavy breads, biscuits, cornbready, kind of very sweet on the aroma. I'm getting like a sweet, skunky aroma. Let's go ahead and try it. Okay, it has a nice, full flavor for an American adjunct lager. It's not heavy bodied, but it has a nice heft and thickness to the taste that kind of like Mickey's Malt Liquor doesn't have, for example. I've always thought that about Old English 800. It's very drinkable and it's smooth and it's refreshing, but it has a little bit of a... it's not a harshness. It's just like a malty flavor, kind of. More of a malty... Almost think like maybe like a high gravity Yingling. There isn't such a thing, but if there was, it might taste kind of like this. This is maltier than Old English, or this is Old English. This is maltier than Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor, or even Colt 45. Colt 45 is a little bit, or Schlitz, Schlitz Malt Liquor, the Blue Bull, which I've reviewed. This is a little bit more malty than those. It has a little something in the flavor that those don't have, even though the alcohol is the same. So it must be the ingredients they're using. It's not skunky. It has a good Best By, months out from the date, so we're good. A beer like this in a clear bottle is subject to skunking, so if it was past the Best By date, you might want to be, careful with one like this. This is not something that will age well. This is something you want to drink as soon as possible. And cold. This is very cold. I had it in the fridge. They taste the best when they're cold. And this one is, no exception to that rule. This is not a stout where it changes or gets better as it warms. This is a malt liquor. It's really good. For a score, I'd give this like a 92. It's a solid A-. It's a great malt liquor. It's hard for me to say what my favorite malt liquor is. This could be argued as one of them. They're all really good. I have no problem with them. They're not, they're not masterpieces in the beer world, but they're good. If you're getting a beer on a budget, you don't want to break the bank with a lot of craft beer, because you will put down some money for craft beer and stouts and all that. And I love those kinds of beer, but, they will, require the pocketbook. You know what I mean? But this is a good beer. If you don't want to spend too much, 42 ounces. I'm gonna drink the rest of this probably this week, tomorrow, the next day. 92 for this for sure. It's a good beer. Most malt liquors that I know of kind of were introduced around the 60s, 70s, kind of in that time period. I think Schlitz, the Blue Bull, and Colt 45 were both kind of introduced around that time. I think 63, I forget. I wrote it down in the video, but they're all kind of came about around that time, all malt liquors. So this is good. I've had this before. I'd get it again. 92 for the Colt 45. Or Colt 45, what the heck? Old English. I'm talking about all these beers, so I get them all confused and jumbled up. It's good. If you see it in your area, get it, try it, buy it, and it's enjoyable. Cheers, and thank you for watching.